Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? I think you should be able to hear me. But yeah, we're going to be playing some DoDonPachi Dai0uJou. This is the third game in the DoDonPachi series, made by Cave, well-known developer. Made a lot of banger shmups. And this is probably the most, I think what they're mostly known for this game. It's just one of the most ball-busting games ever made. Just kind of ridiculous what they did with this game. I think it's some people say it's like one of the hardest ever made. Like some lists out at the top. That's because of some really silly reasons that I don't think we're going to see now, but we might see a little bit of it shine through. But yeah, CPS is going to be playing a kind of special little version here. First of all, it's Black Label. It is a bit of a reprise from the original, what we call White Label, the original release. Bit of a rebalancing. Some games are easier, and like some patterns are easier, so hitboxes are smaller. Makes it easier. Tech loop is also easier because of reasons. And as you just saw, there's a 1 round and a 2 round option at the start. The difference is that this version of Black Label, they let you choose like 1 loop or 2 loops. Normally the game is 2 loops, but you can choose to only play 1 with something special at the end. That's normally at the end of the second loop. This is a pretty neat idea. I don't think I've seen basically anywhere else ever since. But yeah. So the ending is going to be pretty hard because we're going to see the two last boss. And this makes the first loop, of course, quite harder to clear because you need to have a lot more resources at the end to survive. And I think it might be like a little bit harder than just doing 2 loops, because you'll have like 1 extent less, because there's 1 extent in the second loop normally that you obviously won't be getting in this mode, in the 1 loop mode. So you have like 1 less life, 1 less resource to manage, to clear it. So we're going to see. Need a pretty good rest of the game to have enough resources to clear the Chula's boss. I think only like one or 2 lives can be lost. Have like a reasonable chance to clear. So I'm going to see how CPS is going to perform. Already at the first boss here. Yeah, I used the hyper just now, which is a mechanic in this game. If you, by shooting things, chaining things, getting the B items that are hidden, you fill up the gauge in the top left. If you fill it up, you get a hyper like this one, which greatly increases your shot power. It's very welcome for any survival play. But that's the side effect to making the game increase the rank, which is the variable difficulty of the game. So it's a bit of a risk reward, I guess. You do more damage, but also the game gets a tiny bit harder every time you use it. If you fill up more meters, you can get more hypers at once, up to 5. And if you get all 5 at once, you do like a crazy amount of damage. You can do like 150% more damage or something, which is pretty crazy. But it's obviously like very hard to build up that many hypers, because the bomb button is also tied to the hyper. So you can't use the hyper without first. You can't use bomb without first using the hyper. So obviously it's pretty hard to get there. Doing pretty good so far. 3, 1, 2 are fairly easy. Not that much going on yet. Yeah, this game must have like a entire like chaining system, which is pretty cool. I guess they kind of saw like Street Fighter combos and like decided, what if we put this in a shoot 'em up? And here we go. The chaining actually does help with survival, because the higher chain, the more hyper meter you get from bees and other stuff. So you get a lot more hypers when you play for score and combo and chain. This is a pretty good section to use your hypers on. It's like a hall, this little pop hall. A lot of enemies here. Getting them all with high hyper level gets you a lot of hits. And more hits means more score. I do want to do a little bit of scoring, so you can get the 2 extra score extents, 2 extra lives. This is probably one of the best places of any to do that. Right, stage 2 boss. This guy is kind of random in what he does, so sometimes you get like some pretty nasty overlaps. But I think as long as you don't like hyper, you should be fine here. If you hyper this boss, the patterns get like crazy fast. Right, final phase. Ooh, a little hyper at the end there. Might be... Ah, he's fine. He got the bullet cancel. It's a thing that happens if you fill up a hyper during a boss. Or I think just anywhere actually. Just get like a quick screen cancel. Which is actually very useful in some cases, and people like route around the bullet cancel. It's very important in some sections. Right, stage 3. Stage 3 is difficulty kind of jumps up a little bit. Get a lot of these big enemies that you have to destroy pretty quickly. If you don't, they can overwhelm you like quite fast. Alright. Doing good so far. The section before the mid boss is kind of scary. Do some pretty good movement, like make sure nothing like really gets in your way. They have like a clear path. He's doing the mid boss in a way he's doing it in a pretty honest way. I think most people just point blank at the start and like kill it immediately. In White Label there's a save spot after the mid boss here, but it's not in Black Label, so you have to be careful. These big pillars give you like a screen cancel when you destroy them. To make use of that. Yeah, I think CPS is playing with Type A Expert as well. It's one of the most used shot types in this game. People usually use like the Expert shots, either Type A or Type B. Gives the best shot and laser, and is generally just the most useful. Especially for like high level stuff, like second loop and the Chulas boss. But the other types are a bit more useful, I think, for like one loop clears. Like Shotia has like a million bombs, but that's like really bad. Like laser and speed. That usually doesn't matter that much in just the one loop clear. Right, stage 3 boss. This guy is kinda annoying, I'd say. It can be, like the way he moves is like random, like how he like bobs around the screen. And if you're unlucky, you can get like really close to one of the sides and then like not give you any space to dodge, like this very wide pattern. It can be quite annoying. And yeah, these fast waves can also be randomly really dense. Right, final phase is probably the hardest thing before the final boss in the first loop. Very nasty. There's like very quickly overlapping waves with like weird angles and weird aim shots. Yeah, you really want to like speed kill it if you can. He did that with a bunch of hypers there. It's very good. Going good on pacing still. Hasn't died yet. Hasn't bombed yet, I think. Stage 4 is not a big jump in difficulty. A lot of these quick, like popcorn Saku rushes, you have to be careful of. Big enemies on the sides here that you want to destroy quickly. You can actually like squall one of them like off screen, and then that stops it from shooting. It's very useful. Yeah, extend from tick points. It happens sometimes. Okay, he has both score extents now, which is good. Only one extent left, which is coming up on the mid boss here. It's a little secret extent. That will be it for the extra lives go. You have these real tanks. You have to destroy all the tiny tanks before you can kill the big tank. You can't just go on top of them. Just... Ooh, that was kind of scary. Before you can destroy the big tank. You can just go on top of it. Just fine. Let's put a little stream here. We'll get to the medium plane rush. I think most people hyper here. I think he is going to try to do it hyperless. Score you really want to hyper there because there are like a million enemies there. But for survival you kind of want to... So there's a section coming up later, I'll explain later. Mid boss here. For the extra secret extent, you want to destroy both sides here. Both the things on the sides of the mid boss. Before destroying the main body. And that drops the 1-up. Nice. Okay, now what's coming up is the whales, which is, I'd say, is probably on the hardest parts of the game in both loops. Where these whales originally spawn is random. So you have to be really careful. You want to destroy them ASAP and be mindful of the enemies from the sides. The enemies are static, but the whales are not. So you have to kind of improvise, know what you're doing, kind of wing it sometimes. But they got you it. That's really want to like save like the hypers for. If you have like five hypers going into that, you can like destroy all the whales like as soon as they spawn, and it's really good. It's really good. Makes that section very doable. The second loop, that is insane. He did use a bomb there. He got one back from the drop here. Just means he can't use a free bomb here. So he just has to dodge a little bit extra. This boss is kind of nasty as well. Ooh, first phase, yeah, he died there. That's still fine though. Still has enough resources perfectly. Yeah, first phase is nasty. A lot of these really random patterns. Especially that the last pattern gets like really dense. It's really scary. Right there, he doesn't have hyper now anymore for this section. Normally you can like hyper this and like destroy it immediately. But he used the bomb instead. This is also good. It also works. Right. He should get the bomb back before the final boss. Okay, now we're seeing something interesting here. Okay, because this kind of like a thing in Black Label mostly. Because he died there, the rank is now really low. And that actually makes things kind of harder. Because you can see how slow everything is now. Like all the bullets are. And that really like just fills up the screen. Like bullets don't leave. Like they stay on the screen like so long. Everything like cramps together. And it's like really nasty, honestly. I think a weird little side effect that makes things harder instead of easier. Right, mid-boss. Mid-boss you want to like get kind of cheese by like going high on the screen. You kind of like aim at you and then start from there. So if you like go high up the screen with iframes, you can bait it up there. That makes it a lot easier. Beehive section. This section is also kind of nasty. There are a lot of these enemies from the sides that keep shooting aim shots. And they can wall you like pretty easily. Really have to like be really proactive with your movement here. Create gaps. Whoa, okay. That was crazy dodge there. Yeah, these are the bombs. So he has to go beast mode or die. Yeah, he died. Yeah, usually you want to save like a hyper for that part where he died. So you can cancel the bullets. Right. Getting a little spicy now in terms of resources. It's still possible, I think. But it's going to be kinda sus. Should be fine, I think, still though. Yeah, this section is also nasty. All the post-mid boss waves are just really nasty. I think some people like to delay the mid bosses so you don't get less of those waves. Yeah, these mid bosses are all the bosses from DoDonPachi, the previous game in the series. It's pretty cool. You'll see those later tomorrow when I play the game, when I play DoDonPachi, I guess. Right. Gone past all the mid bosses now. Oh, we have this last section on the stage. It's also pretty nasty. You really want to have like a route here to make sure this can make quick work of everything. Yeah, saw a couple of bombs that lowered the rank as well. No hyper, so he has to dodge. Yeah, I always play for score, so I usually have like a lot more hypers here. Like a little bit of different side effect. Oh. That was frustrating that. It's like one bullet remaining there. Right, that's going to get interesting to see how he's going to finish this out now. think it's technically still possible, but it's really skirting the edge of possibility now. Alright, this first attack of the final boss is really hard on low rank. Because normally you can do like kind of like sort of a safe spot thing, but that stops working on low rank. Yeah, this pattern is also really hard, especially if you hypo it. You generally don't want to hypo this boss at all, because all the patterns get too fast, too difficult. Oh. Yeah, that attack is... I don't know, that attack is kind of just harder in like the first loop than in the second loop, I'd say. It's so much more likely to wall you on the first loop than on the second loop. Yes, the final attack. You only see this on the first loop. Kind of like bounces on the walls. You have to go dodge through the gaps. Alright, now it's time for the DoDonPachi start of the true last boss. Hyper management is not very great here. You got two of them. It's something you never really want to see. I might still have enough actually. Yeah, he has full bar. Let's him get another hyper here after the first attack. And this is a very cool like setup. And none of the attacks on the boss are like particularly dodgeable. So there's like this whole setup, precise setup of hyper management, where you try to do precise timings to like cancel everything and and yeah, that can kill you easily, honestly. If the gaps are like very dense. Yeah, just before it started. Which means he also like lost a lot of damage. Okay, here we have the final attack, the washing machine. It's I think one of the more iconic patterns that you see. Insanely hard, insanely undodgeable. You really want to just abuse like all the iframes you get from like dying and bombing and hypering to like whittle down the health bar and beat the boss that way. Yeah, especially doing dead iframes, you can just go up there and like point blank and do like a lot of damage. In Black Label it's a bit more dodgeable because the hitboxes are like so much smaller than in White Label, the original mode. In White Label that pattern is just completely impossible. Just like there's no way. There's no way, man. And yeah, very good try, CPS. Got the 2cc.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was unfortunate that I died on that probably the easiest attack of Ipachi.
Yeah, that happened more times to me than I honestly like to admit.
Yeah, but then again, if you like don't have more than 3 lives to Hibachi, and the run is most likely die.
Yeah, ideally you want to have like a minimum of 3 lives going into the fight.
It's 3 lives minimum, or else it's over.
Yeah, if you have less than 3, you're going to have to do some saucy dodging. You can do in Black Label, but yeah, the chances get like significantly lower of clearing.
Okay, so that's Dai0uJou Black Label. Don't slap on the Dai0uJou release in December.
Yeah, M2 is going to
Yeah, it's
port the
M2.
game to modern consoles in December. It's
It will
going to be
out
great.
on PS4 and Switch.
Yeah, M2 always make like the best ports of like any ports ever made. So going to get like the definitive edition of this game. Going to be great. Everyone's going to be able to play it in a great way. And we'll see just everything society when M2 ports a game. That's finally what we'll get. Yeah. Look forward to that. All right.
Okay, that's it. See you.